What? Unreal. Today's effing Unreal fix, level sequencer. How do you move the legs, including the thighs and calves, in the level sequencer? Stay tuned. I'm going to start and assume that you know some things in terms of level sequencers. I will do some of the basics in terms of setting it up, but if you want to get a tutorial on level sequencers, there are plenty of stuff on the internet. I may eventually put something up, but for now, we're just talking about how to get to this quick fix, which is what this channel is about. All right, so assuming you've got a level sequencer, well, let's just go through it. If you got a folder or something set up, just go to cinematics and then do level sequence, and then a file will pop up similar to this. Just name it, and then what you want to do is double click on it once you name it, and then you'll be in a sequencer. Again, if you've never used sequencer before, there'll be something a little bit weird here in that you're not actually opening a tab that you would say have up here at the top the way you normally would. You've got a sequencer tab here, and it allows you to go to the content browser and switch back and forth. Not only that, it allows you to edit the scene, which you're going to have to do to get your sequencer set up for your actors. So the next thing you want to do is go and grab, a mesh. I happen to be using one of the out-of-box meshes. I like Quinn, so I'm going to drag her out. All right, so you want to make sure that she's out, or whomever you're using is out, and then ensure that you hadn't inadvertently unselected her or whatever. So reselect it, okay, and then go over here to the left and click on track, then add actor to sequencer. Okay, what that'll do is create her skeleton, her control rig, and a transform line to allow you to move the actor around and change their origin and rotation. Sorry, not the origin, but the rotation and scale and location. So say for instance, if you have an animation where maybe they're running or something like that, then you can move them around the screen with the location and set your keys once you move them to make them appear as though they're running. All right, that's one thing. The control rig will allow you to manipulate the arms and torso, and you're here because hopefully you're having problems with the legs and you want to get to a simple solution for that. Now, what I'm about to tell you to get that to work probably is not the answer. I'm sure the folks at Unreal will tell you to either do another control rig where you have your legs, or use some other means to move the legs, the thighs and calves. One big drawback of what I'm about to show you is when you do enable it, it will mess with the foot IK, and that may sound foreign to you if you're brand new to this, but once you get started learning it, it will become important to know why that's important. I'll just say that it keeps the feet and other things firmly planted while you're maneuvering or animating other things, so that they don't sort of flail around. Once you do this fix that I'm talking about, that will happen if you do any sort of animation that requires the upper torso or other things to move around where the legs would have to be planted. So you might be able to do a hybrid. I may talk to a little bit of that at the end of this video, but for now I'm trying to get you to the quick fix. So what's the problem? If you're just here and you just kind of accidentally saw this title and you're wondering, okay, what's the big deal? Well, the thing is, with the control rig, you've got various levers that you can turn and twist and make your mannequin move around, right? But when it comes to the legs, there's nothing here. There's nothing to move them back and forth. You may want to pose them, you may want to do something in place, and you just can't do that. Now, if you wanted to just bend or have them squat, you can pick one of these larger rings, and it will bend the legs, right, or sit them down. Well, that's a pretty basic function, right? That's not really giving you control. The other thing is, and you'll notice as I pull it up too high, look at the feet. See how they're planted firmly to the ground by the toes, more or less? I believe that's the foot IK that's forcing that. I could be wrong. I'm sure someone will correct me, but suffice to say, it is not easy to just grab, right, and move the legs or feet. Look at that. So I want to move the foot out, In other programs I've used like Dash 3D, if you do this, it does a natural human motion where it drags the leg along with it. This is just not the case here. These other two items here, again, you would think, okay, I can move these and it'll move the knees. Nope, won't do that. Neither one of them will do that. So there's no real way out of the box to just jump in and start animating the legs. I've seen some folks say just create a whole new control rig where you have the leg components that you can do that. But again, I think you get into some complexities with regard to the foot IK, or at least those other animations. So let's get into it. How do you do it? All right, it's a little bit tricky. First thing you want to do after you add your mannequin or your mesh is you want to lay down a key, right? It's very important that you do this first. And also make sure that you have the automated key enabled, where after you create the first key, it will create them for you as you do other motions. So make sure this is selected, right? The way mine is here. Once you do that, then the way you lay down a key is find the control rig in the listing here, and then click on the plus sign. What that will do is lay down your initial key here, right, for your animation. If you don't do this first, it will not work, what I'm telling you. I actually ran into a problem just recently because I'd forgotten some of the information. So once you do that, then you've laid down whatever mathematics or whatever behind the scenes that the system needs to know that you're ready to start doing automated animation. So again, I can't stress it enough. Make sure you do that first. After that, type in GLOB and in the search bar here next to track. And then what will pop up is this global control underneath the control rig. Expand that out. And because you have this GLOB selected, it's filtered it for you so that you have the foot controls here. What you're going to do is disable the foot IK for the left and right, or leg IK for the left and right leg, sorry. So once you do that, you may not notice it, but over here where you've got your Quinn or whatever you've got out here, you'll see some rings around the knees now and some rings around the feet now. That provides you a control rig now where you can actually move the feet. Now what I'm going to do, or legs, what I'm going to do now is move the timeline out a bit, say to 15, and then now I'm going to animate the leg. Okay. So you can see there, it just laid down a track where now, if I, scroll it back a bit, the leg moves on its own. So if we play that, it now moves on its own. Again, if you do not lay that first key down that I talked about before you change these settings, it will mess up on you. And I just recently had that happen to me. So if you mess up, just delete out your mannequin or whatever you've got in here, re-add that mannequin back in. Ensure these are checked and enabled if you inadvertently touched them or looked at them before you did that. Then lay down your key. Once you do that, then do your search and disable those, and then you can start animating away. Now I said what I would do is once I got done here, we would try to go back and re-enable them, right? And as you can see here, it laid down a key to say, okay, we're back to the control rig. So from this point out, now we can go to the control rig and do something like this, right? And hopefully that will work for us. Yeah, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that at the same time. I actually should have laid down another key out further. That wasn't very smart that I did. But in any case, I think you get where I'm coming from. So you're able to do a bit of a hybrid. You'll have to play around with it to make sure that you don't do what I just did. It's a stupid mistake, but it's simple to fix. I just don't want to waste your time showing you that. But again, I think this is the key here, pun intended, in terms of how to get your foot rigging working to the point where you can do some basic animation and posing of your character with animation. It took me days, a week almost, to figure this out because I couldn't figure out how to, simply move my character the way I want it and pose them. So anyway, hopefully this helps you. This is the first in and hopefully a long line of quick fixes and tutorials that I'm going to do on this channel. If you like what you heard, you learned something, do me a favor, give me a thumbs up, give me a like, subscribe. I can be a little bit long-winded. I apologize up front, but I like to give folks detail that I don't see on a lot of channels in terms of some of the back-end things that you want to look at. The channel's mostly about quick fixes, but again, we'll touch all topics related to effing unreal things that are either overly complex, hidden, or just really weird in how this UI works. So my goal is to try to help folks like me who spent too much time trying to find simple fixes to things instead of actually building. So again, if you like what you're seeing, please subscribe and give me a like, and looking forward to seeing you.